yesterday's attack on former President Donald Trump is shocking but hardly surprising, given the level of invective against him. Had he been killed, America tonight would be in a very dark place. As it is, there's one innocent person dead and 2 badly wounded. There are big questions too about how the shooter could have gained such proximity to the former president and why the Secret Service didn't act more quickly given warnings from the crowd.
I was up at the fence line, saw the guy move from roof to roof, told an officer that he was on the roof.
There was a lapse in security somewhere. I think it's evident to all of us. And we just don't know how that occurred.
Prior to the president coming out and speaking, we did have some concerns with the crowd.
Much will flow from this near catastrophe. Donald Trump's instinctive defiance, his raised fist response to the attack, shows the fight in the man that his supporters love. Now that's an image for the ages, it's been said. To have the presence of mind, seconds after an attempt on his life, to process what's happened and then to defiantly frame the image as he did, shows to me as a political campaigner, he has outstanding presence of mind. I mean, Trump clearly didn't want the last image of him on that dreadful day to be a man hustled away by the Secret Service. So he demanded they wait, and in that moment, he reframed the image as a man of strength, the sort of leader you would want in a crisis. All of this deliberately done. It's the best use of a crisis I've ever seen.
Wait.
Overnight, the Democrats, well, they've been forced to pull a $50 million ad campaign, personally targeting the man they so palpably loathe. Up until now, their campaign's been all about Trump, playing the man, not the ball. But now their campaign is upended. The Republicans too, they will have to change the way they campaign, given the now obvious danger of outside venues that so energised Trump and his campaign. Instead, they'll need to move indoors to more secure stadiums and all that extra security. But that will come with constraints, the availability of big enough venues in states where they want to campaign, reduced flexibility in the Trump schedule as a result, and the loss of that element of surprise. Up until now, the media and the Democrats often don't know where the former president might turn up until a day or so before the event, and it's worked in his favour. Well, not anymore. Now, as for November's vote, as the famed Republican pollster Frank Luntz, not a Trump fan I should say, has come out to give us information. He says that the current sympathy for the Trump vote won't turn Democrat voters into Republicans, but it will help to mobilise every Republican to turn out. As far as he's concerned, says Luntz, the Republicans now, they don't have an issue with turnout. Their base is motivated, whereas the same can't be said about the Biden Democrats. For the incumbent president, the events of the weekend now shift the focus off him momentarily after that dreadful debate performance and escalating calls for him to resign. But the reprieve for Biden, it won't last. It's bought him time, sure, and he'll be hoping he can just wind down the clock until replacing him becomes almost impossible. But for many in the Democrat camp, the wind in Trump's sails after yesterday will make the need to change out their candidate even more urgent. Today, in a short address from the Oval Office, President Biden urged calm.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. The political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Still, Biden and the Democrats won't escape blame for this near dreadful miss, given the abuse they can't help heaping on their hated foe. Take this from the president himself. It's time, says Joe Biden, to put Trump in the bullseye. Now, I'll repeat that. It is time to put Trump in the bullseye. Reportedly said this by Biden in a campaign call to big donors just a fortnight ago. And here's just some of Biden's incendiary tweets. Donald Trump is the greatest threat to our democracy. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. Trump poses many threats to our country: the right to choose, civil rights, voting rights, and America's standing in the world. But the greatest threat he poses is to our democracy. If we lose that, we lose everything. And then there's the weird efforts of the anti-Trump media to pretend that what happened wasn't an assassination attempt. It took them some time to even use the words assassination attempt. Even then, some like the New York Times today would only refer to it as a shooting. Then there were even some crazy lefties online who claimed this was some sort of Trump plot, a staged event, something set up for voter sympathy. Pretty hard for that to stack up when you look at this photo and an inch the other way and Trump would be dead. It's all very well to urge calm now, as the president has, but for months he's been whipping up fury. Now, Trump's rhetoric hasn't exactly been gentle either, but in the end, it's the country's leader who has to take responsibility for the state it's in. And if America today is more polarised, more fragmented, more combustible than in decades, that's Biden's failure, especially given that he posed as a healer but has governed as the country's most left-wing president ever. I don't recall that politicians should pull their punches on issues. If something's wrong, I think it should be called out. It should be called out with great vigour. But the personal abuse that's crept into American politics, especially that, should go. If people disagree, they might be wrong. That doesn't make them evil. That's a lesson the left here needs to learn as well.